Here's the question. Last week I made rain skip on a smart water timer sound clever. Your watering timer reads the forecast, sees rain coming, and skips. Smart. So why has that same rain delay killed more plants than any slug or drought? I am McCall. I drive buses in Belfast. Today, the dark side of the feature I just praised. A good automatic watering system in the wrong place is not a tool, it is a trap. It is a trap. The first trap is the obvious one, and it is the smallest of the three, but it still bites. The forecast is simply wrong. Remember from last week, your timer does not feel the rain. It reads a prediction, and a prediction is a guess about a big area over the next day or two. So here's what happens. The forecast says rain tomorrow morning. Your timer, being obedient, skips the watering to save the effort. Morning comes, and the rain does not. It slid east and fell on the next county. Or it arrived as a mean little drizzle that darkened the pavement and did nothing else. Or it is still coming, apparently always an hour away, while your borders bake. Meanwhile, the skip has already happened. The valve stayed shut. Your plants got nothing. On a day they were counting on a drink, all because a clever little program believed a forecast that did not come true. Now, one dry day rarely kills anything, but string 2 or 3 skipped days together in a hot spell, trusting a forecast that keeps crying wolf, and you come home to trouble. That is trap 1. The sky wrote a check, and your timer cashed it early. The second trap is the one almost nobody sees coming, and it is the killer. Here it is. Even when the forecast is perfectly right, even when the rain falls exactly as promised, the rain still might not reach your roots. Sit with that. Trap 1 was the sky not delivering. Trap 2 is the sky delivering, and it's still not being enough. A shower that wets the top inch of soil is not the same as a soak that reaches the roots. Think about where rain actually goes. A light shower darkens the surface and evaporates by lunchtime, never sinking to where the roots are drinking. Soil that has dried out hard turns water repellent, so a downpour runs straight off the top like water off a duck's back and away down the path. A thick mulch or a leafy canopy can catch a small rain and hold it up high so it drips and dries before a drop gets down to the ground. And a tree or a fence casts a rain shadow where the ground stays bone dry through the wettest day. So your timer sees rain in the forecast, ticks the box, and skips. The rain even arrives. And down at the roots where it actually matters, the soil is still dry. Wet pavement is not a watered garden. The forecast was right, and your plants still went thirsty. The third trap is the deadliest of the lot, because it is not sometimes wrong, it is always wrong. There are parts of your garden where rain never lands at all, and in those places, rain skip does not just risk a dry day, it guarantees a slow death. The obvious one is the greenhouse. If you saw the greenhouse episode, you know the half of it. It is a sealed glass box, and not one drop of rain gets in, ever. But it is not only the greenhouse. Think about everything that lives under a roof of some kind. The hanging baskets tucked under the eaves, the pots against the house wall, in the rain shadow, the plants under a dense tree, or a pergola, or a bit of clear covering you put up to keep the tomatoes dry. To all of them, the sky may as well not exist. Now picture the disaster. It is a rainy week, so the forecast is full of rain, so your timer skips watering again and again, feeling very pleased with itself, and every single one of those covered plants gets nothing, on the very days the timer is most confident. The wetter the forecast, the more it skips, and the faster they die of thirst in the middle of a downpour. Rain skip and a roof are a lethal pair. So let me put the whole map in one place. because this is the bit worth a screenshot. These are the spots where rain skip will lie to you, where a wet forecast does not mean a watered plant, under glass, in the greenhouse, or the cold frame where no rain ever falls, under cover, the hanging baskets and pots beneath the eaves or a canopy, in the rain shadow, tight against a wall or a fence where the drops are blocked, under a thick tree where the leaves drink the rain before it lands, on hard, dried-out soil where the water runs off instead of soaking in, and on any container with a small opening and a lot of leaves above it, catching next to nothing. For all of these, treat a rainy forecast as meaning nothing at all. The rain your app can see is falling somewhere your plants are not, and notice the pattern. Traps 2 and 3 do not care one bit whether the forecast is right. You could have a perfect, flawless forecast, and these places would still be starving because the problem was never the prediction. The problem is that rain in the sky is not water at the roots. Here is where a lot of timers let you down, and it is worth knowing before you buy. On many of them, rain skip is a single switch for the whole system. One button, on or off for everything at once. And you can see straight away why that is hopeless now that we have walked the garden. Your lawn out in the open genuinely benefits from rain skip. When it truly rains on the lawn, watering on top is just waste, but your greenhouse on the very same system must never skip because it never catches that rain. So one switch forces an impossible choice. Turn rain skip on and you save the lawn some water while quietly starving the greenhouse. Turn it off and you protect the greenhouse while pouring water on a lawn that is already soaked. There is no right answer with one switch because your garden is not one place. It is many little climates, the open borders, the sheltered patio, the sealed greenhouse, the shady corner under the tree. What you actually need is rain skip you can set for each zone on its own, on for the open ground, off for everything under a roof. That is not a luxury feature. Once you understand the traps, it is the whole point. What makes the rain skip trap so nasty is how quiet it is. Most garden disasters give you a warning. A timer that will not connect shows an error. A blown dripper sprays everywhere. But rain skip fails in complete silence. The app is green. It reports cheerfully, watering skipped, rain expected. As far as the system is concerned, it did its job perfectly, and it did. It read the forecast, it made the call, it saved the water. The app has no way of knowing that the rain landed on the greenhouse glass, or ran off the hard soil, or never came at all. It is reporting success while your plants go under. This is the thing I trust least about any automation, and it comes straight from the day job. On the bus, the failures that frighten me are not the loud ones. It is the black ice on a road that looks perfectly wet and normal. Everything reads fine, right up until it very much does not. Rain skip is black ice, a green app and a dead tomato plant side by side, and nothing in between to warn you. The machine will always tell you what it did. It can never tell you whether it was right. So here's exactly what I do on my own tap, and it comes straight from the traps. I run the Johgee 4 zone, and the reason it earns its place is that I can set rain skip zone by zone, not one switch for the whole garden. On the greenhouse zone, rain skip stays off full stop, because no forecast that ever existed puts water inside a glass box. On the lawn zone, out in the open, rain skip can stay on, because there the rain really does land and watering on top is just waste. Same timer, opposite settings, and that is the entire trick. But let me be honest, because this is a trap episode, not a sales pitch. No timer on earth fixes traps 2 and 3 for you. There is no clever setting that checks whether the rain actually reached your roots. Only you can do that. The kit can stop skipping where skipping is madness. It cannot walk out and push a finger into the soil. That part is still your job, and it always will be. So, how do you stay out of the trap? You add the one thing the machine has not got, your own two eyes a few times a week. It takes 5 minutes and it beats any feature on the box. First, after any day the system skipped, go and check the ground it skipped. Push a finger in, 2 knuckles down, in the actual root zone, not the surface. Damp, grand, the skip was right. Dry under a wet-looking top, water it yourself, the forecast fooled you. Second, walk your covered plants every single time, whatever the forecast says. The greenhouse, the baskets under the eaves, the pots in the rain shadow. Rain skip has no vote there, so you are the only watering they get. Third, once a week, read the log. If your timer skipped 4 days running through a heat wave because the forecast kept promising a storm that never broke, that is the trap closing, and the log is where you catch it. The rule under all three is simple. Let the machine do the watering. Never let it do the deciding on its own. You keep the final say because you are the only one who can actually see the soil. So what does that mean for your garden? 3 traps to carry out of today. 1. The forecast can simply be wrong, and a skip on a promise of rain that never comes leaves your garden dry. 2. And this is the big one. Even a perfect forecast can betray you, because rain in the sky is not water at the roots. Runoff, dry hard soil, mulch and rain shadow, all keep the rain from getting down where it matters. 3. Anything under a roof, glass, eaves, a canopy, never catches rain at all, so rain skip there is a guaranteed slow death. The fix is not to fear the feature, it is to set it zone by zone, on for the open ground, off for everything covered, and then to walk out and check the soil yourself, because the app will lie to you with a smile. Next week we chase a scarier question. What happens when the company behind your smart timer switches off its servers? When the cloud your garden depends on simply dies, does your watering keep running, or do you own an expensive paperweight? If a bus driver who does not trust a green light on a screen is your sort of thing, subscribe and tell me the worst thing rain skip has ever done to your garden. Right, that's the route for today. See you on the next one.